Welcome in. Happy Friday. It's a bonus episode of the Minnesota Football Party with myself, Sam Ekstrom, Ron Johnson, and Reggie Wilson. We're going to get into Vikings-Lions throughout this show. We had to have a special Friday edition. Why not? This is the biggest regular season game maybe ever in NFL history. We've got bold predictions. We've got something called Crystal Ball Game Balls coming your way, where we predict who's going to get the game ball. Plus, a playoff matchup, would you rather? All of this is part of Locked On Sports Minnesota on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making us your first watch or listen today. For your second one, check out Locked On Vikings with Luke Braun and find our audio on the Locked On Vikings podcast feed. Once again, that's Ron Johnson, host of the Ron Johnson Show. He's at 3Ron Johnson. And that's Reggie Wilson. If you're watching on YouTube, bottom of your screen, at Reggie Wilson TV. You can find him on the KARE 11 Sportscast. And I'm Sam Ekstrom. We are brought to you by FanDuel today. You can make every moment more at FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet and get started with $250 in bonus bets guaranteed. FanDuel.com to get started. As we begin today's Vikings-Lions show, I want you both to go into your crystal balls. I want you to look into the future, have a little seance, work some magic. And Ron Johnson, I want you to look into Sunday night about 10:30 Central Time. Who's KOC going to be given a game ball to in the locker room after a potential Vikings win?
Oh, I think it might be the kicker. I feel like Will Reichard is going to do something he hasn't had to do in a while, which is kick a ball to win the game and also kick a few balls. And so if you look at the Lions offense, they put the pressure on the other team's offense because I think they know their defense is good. In the month of December, we're looking at two of the best teams in the NFL offensively, two of the best quarterbacks offensively. When you look at Jared Goff, the most attempts in December at 200 passes. So they put the pressure on your defense in order to make sure your offense can't get back on the field. And so I think it's going to come down to the kicking game because a lot of teams feel that pressure. But if you put up some points early, you force the Lions into some forced fourth downs. I think they go for the most fourth downs in the NFL. They end up putting themselves in a position that is not favorable where KOC, just play your game. If you get a field goal, kick a field goal. Don't feel forced to go for it on third down. So that crystal ball, go on Will Reichard to win the game.
I'm just thinking back through the season, too. I know Will had a kick against the Niners, I want to say, that put him up by 9. That was fairly clutch at the time. And then he had a kick to go up by 9 against the Packers late. But those were short kicks. It was like a 33-yarder, 35-yarder. Reichard hasn't really been put on the spot this year in a huge situation. Like the biggest kick I can recall that Reichard hit was maybe the go-ahead extra point against the Cardinals with a minute left in that game. And that, again, that's a 33-yard kick. So if Reichard's asked to hit a long one late to win the game, kind of like Jake Bates did here in week 7, that could be a good pick, Ron. I like that. Reggie Wilson, what do you got? Reggie.
Okay. So I think, and I was talking to him in the locker room before we left after the game last week, but I think this could be a big game for TJ Hockenson. And it's so interesting thinking about Kirby Joseph. I don't know if you guys saw him tweet out the gif. He's like, the Nick Young, because he felt like he got snubbed from the Pro Bowl with 9 interceptions. I can understand that, but he's not necessarily the most popular guy because of,
he's torn everybody's ACL.
Yeah, kind of a dirty player that he's getting the rap to be. And so I can see TJ Hockenson going off, having a big game, avenging for the ACL that was stolen from him, with Kirby Joseph out there hunting kneecaps and all that. So I can see him, having a bit of a revenge game against his former team, revenge on Kirby Joseph, and getting a game ball. I think he's due. He's due to have a touchdown. He's due to have a big game. Just not really a signature Hawk performance since he's come back, but he's been steady since he's come back. I know Ron was talking about how, he hasn't looked all the way right. And it just takes a bit. Like I remember earlier this season, Mark Andrews was a little bit, struggly out of the gate. And now he's, 10 touchdowns. And, at first I was like, oh, Isaiah Likely, I guess, is the new tight end one in Baltimore. And Mark Andrews, like, not so fast. And so I think, as the time goes on and TJ Hockenson continues to get more reps and more games under his belt, I think he'll get stronger and just continue to get games removed from the ACL. So I think Hawk has a big game, and I think he finds the end zone in this all-important game on Sunday.
Julia Daniels, unfortunately absent today. She's been guessing the Hockenson touchdown every single week in the bold prediction segment. Hasn't
holding
happened
the torch
yet.
for her.
Got to happen in this revenge game, which is interesting, Reggie, because if you actually think back through it, Hawkinson's only played one full game against his former team. Last year, he got hurt in the first matchup, didn't play in the second matchup, then didn't play in the first matchup this year. So he hasn't played a full game against the Lions since 2022. So a lot of pent-up revenge angst for TJ Hockenson in this one. So that's Reggie's game ball. I'm going to go with Aaron Jones. I feel like I can't go with Justin Jefferson. The Lions are going to focus so much to take him away. Maybe he still goes off. Very well could happen. But I'm looking for the supplementary offense for the Vikings. And Aaron Jones is sitting on some milestones. Aaron Jones is 29 yards away from a career high in rushing. He is 88 yards away from a career high in scrimmage yards, so receiving and rushing. It's quietly been a career year for him. It doesn't seem like it necessarily. He's had some quiet games. He's been in and out of injury, but he's going to play all 17, assuming he plays on Sunday, and he could have a career high in yards. And you look at what he did in the last game against Detroit, had that long touchdown early, finished with 14 carries, 93 yards, and a touchdown, 23 yards through the air, total of 116 with a touchdown. I like Aaron Jones' chances to go off in this game if the Lions are selling out against the pass, which I think would be logically their strategy. I also look at their front seven, which has a lot of backup pieces. Maybe Anzalone plays and that changes the game, but I think they've been really poor tackling the last handful of games. You look at the points they've given up. You look at how teams have moved the ball. I don't think they've tackled well at all. Looking at the tackle numbers, watching a little bit of the tape, the Lions have not been wrapping up. I think Aaron Jones has a chance to go off in this game. And while everybody's going to be thinking about the passing game being the fixture, I think the running game could be the difference. And also think about this too, guys. The goal for both coaches is going to be, we got to keep the ball away from the opposing offense. And that's going to mean establishing the run, extending drives. It's a game where you almost don't want to score too fast, especially for the Lions, because the Lions don't want to put their defense back on the field. The Lions want to draw out drives. The Vikings want to draw out drives. It's going to be a time of possession battle in this one, Vikings and Lions. Let me tee this one up for you, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions' health up front, they played on a Monday. Do you feel like is fatigue a factor in an NFL football game if you're on a short week, if you've got some backups in there, you're undermanned? Do you think that actually plays into it, like in the third and fourth quarters of games, if a team is tired?
It does a little bit. I mean, they're humans, and so, but this is the last game of the week. They get an extra couple hours as well. So being a night game on Sunday and then a night game on Monday, it does help to spread it out a little bit. Like they don't have to wake up early Sunday morning. Also knowing that, like, basically this last game, there's not much to like come in for to say like, hey, we had I guarantee it was a, hey, I'll see you guys on Wednesday type of thing, or see you guys on Thursday type of feeling around the facility, whereas maybe Wednesday, Thursday are walkthroughs, and then Friday is a speed day, because a lot of people get it reversed. And I talked to PJ Fleck about this. The new age way is actually used to be old school, was we would go heavy on Wednesday, a little bit lighter on Thursday, a little bit lighter on Friday, and then Saturday walkthrough. Now it's kind of reverse, where you go light, speed it up to get more game speed, speed it up with no pads, and then you travel. And so I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. And they're like, yeah, like why should your body rest closer to game time? Your body should be feeling more like, okay, here's what I need to feel like going game speed. So I'm pretty sure a lot more NFL teams are doing that as well, where they're trying to get realistic looks without the pads. So I think there's a lot of ways to rest. But again, these guys are professionals. This is week 18. Every single person is tired in the league. Like this is when you do your, like, you look back to your summer workouts. How much did I work out this summer? How much did I put into my body? Am I getting sleep? Am I eating right? All those things matter. I mean, that's why when you hear Bomber St. Brown talk about all the crap he does, you know, the catching 200 plus balls, the nutrition stuff, the sleep, the pools, the oxygen, everything they do is so their body can make it to this week, and then of course be able to go to the playoffs. So this, I think, for both teams, Lions and Vikings, they're treating this like a playoff game. Like they are going to leave it all on the field, because they know if you win this, you get the next week off. So this is going to be like, I think this might be one of the most fourth down, go for it games we've seen in the league from both teams.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the coaching edge in a little bit and see if KOC is trying to play catch up against Dan Campbell's aggressiveness. And I think there's going to be a viral video Sunday night regardless. We're either going to have a locker room game ball speech from Kevin O'Connell, or Reggie, we're going to have it from Dan Campbell. And his have gone viral as well. So let me flip the question, Reggie, on you. We talked about crystal ball game balls for the Vikings. If it's Dan Campbell giving the viral speech at the end, who will he be giving that game ball out to?
Probably Jared Goff. I think, you know, that team is probably going as he leads them, just because I just think the offenses are going to have a day. And I say that because, and one thing I was thinking about, I think the 49ers had a good game plan on Monday, but then Brock Purdy kind of played into the defense's hands. And look, they're undermanned, but Kirby Joseph was baiting Brock Purdy into some throws, and Brock took the bait and threw it straight to him. And I think that's kind of what they're probably hoping for, is maybe for Sam Darnold to make some mistakes. And I think that's why Hockenson has a big game, because, you know, when things kind of go left, you know, he can dump it to Hock and make some things happen. That's like the security blanket. But if the Lions are gonna win and all that, I think Ben Johnson goes into his bag and draws up some crazy plays that Jared Goff is going to be a big part of. Some trick plays, some, you know, big time fourth down plays, whatever the case may be. And Goff is going to have to lead those guys. He and Darnold are Pro Bowl players this season. So yeah, I can see him giving a game ball to Goff. But I think it's going to be interesting, though. To Ron's point, we talked to Blake Cashman yesterday, and you'll see that on Sunday on KARE 11 pregame. And he talked about how he didn't switch up the routine because he's locked in. I asked him, like, hey, you know, how was the holiday? He was just like, man, it was quiet, because, you know, I'm in football mode. You know, I can't really get out of my routine. And so he's like, yeah, it was Christmas, but, you know, I just treated it like any other Wednesday, because I needed to make sure that I stayed in my routine. I'm locked in because we're trying to, you know, get to our goal here. And so, you know, it was interesting just talking to him and just seeing how locked in the guys are. I think his quote yesterday, I asked him about, you know, maybe getting snubbed from the Pro Bowl. He's just like, I'm not chasing Pro Bowls. I'm chasing Super Bowls. And so that's the mentality. They feel like because they've had this season, they have to capitalize on the success that they had and try to go as far as they can. And as you said, they are treating this game like a playoff game. Cashman said this is the biggest game that he's ever been a part of in the regular season. We haven't seen a 28-win combined a couple teams play each other in the regular season before. So this is a very important game. And so I'm excited to see how it goes. And I could see a shootout happening.
Here's my plea. If the Vikings win and they get 2 home games in the playoffs, that's just more profit in the Wilfs' pockets. Take all the profits from those home games, Just give him to Brian Flores. Tell him, hey, man, here you go. You can stay here. Be the assistant head coach. We're going to keep you around next year. We got this little influx of cash. That's what we're going to do with that extra dough, with that gate money. I like the Jared Goff angle, Reggie, because he's given lots of chances to be heroic with those fourth down passes, like when he hits Amon-Ra St. Brown for a touchdown against the Niners on fourth down. That's a weighty down. That's a touchdown pass in a key spot. He's just given a lot of those opportunities to be the hero because Ben Johnson puts him in those situations. I tend to think that Campbell, game ball wise, will be gravitating to the defensive players because they're the ones that are maligned. They're the ones that are undermanned. Like if Anzalone comes back and has a sack and a TFL and a pick or something like that, I think Anzalone could be a big candidate. Or is it Zadarius Smith with the revenge angle? If Zadarius Smith has a couple key sacks on third down, that could be a game ball in the locker room as well. I think Campbell's going to think about that defense because he wants to build their ego up for the playoffs. Ron, what is your Detroit game ball?
Oh, my Detroit game ball. So I don't know if it's going to happen again. We know Dan Skipper scored his first touchdown, and we're definitely breaking that play down because they do a lot of things with him on the field, and it's one of those things you have to watch. But when you look at that play, I just feel like there's going to be an angle of somebody. But honestly, I feel like it's going to be Jared Goff. Like if they have a good game, you look at Jared Goff in the month of December. We know it's December because Sam Darnold in December have been doing a great job. But other than December, you got Jared Goff as well, who is like Santa Claus giving gifts to everybody in Detroit. And Jared Goff in December, the most completions, 140 for 200, 70% completions, 1,600 yards, 1,637 first, 16 TDs first, only one pick, 119 passer rater second, and 88 first downs first. So in December, Jared Goff is absolutely lighting it up. You can even go to the Detroit Lions red zone in December. They've been pushing the issue when you look at who they've played. When you got the Bears, you got the 49ers, you got the Packers. Like they didn't have easy, and the Bills. They didn't have like an easy December. Other than the Bears. Sorry, Bears. But 115 plays first, 16 touchdowns first, 28 first downs first, 24.3% first down or TDs, 11th. And that's the one where you can kind of get them where it's like they're not converting first downs and they're doing a lot of fourth downs in the red zone. And then 68.12% red zone scoring, which is third in NFL for the entire season. So I think it's going to go to Jared Goff. Jared Goff has been lighting it up this December, and I think it's a new year, 2025, but I think it's going to continue.
And Ron, to your point, it's crazy because I feel like the one way that they're going to have to really kind of take advantage is they got to force him into some mistakes.
Yeah.
Thinking back to that last game, 22 for 25, only 3 passes touched the ground. And he just seemed to do whatever he wanted to do in that last matchup. They have to force some mistakes. The only mistake that was made in that game was, the fumble from Montgomery that, Ivan Pace picked up and took it to the house, but they didn't force any turnovers from Goff. They gotta find a way to turn up the pressure. He seemed to have no problems with that Flores defense the last time around. So they gotta figure something out different so that they could try to force him into some mistakes because he just kind of sits back there, drops back, and just plays pitch and catch. And it wasn't just, he's throwing it to Jameson, he's throwing it to Amon-Ra or Laporta. Like he got Khalif Raymond involved last time. Like he was spreading it out. And so I think that's going to be a key. If they can try to figure out a way to confuse him in any way or something to try to slow him down, it could be helpful because last game he had his way.
But that's how Jared Goff's been, though. If you look at it, 22 for 25 against the Vikings, 18 for 18 against the Seahawks. Like he has had some of these games, 24 for 29. He's had some games where he just gets on a heater and it's tough to get him off of it. And the Vikings was one of them. The Seahawks was the other one. And then I forgot in the Arizona, he was 18 for 23. So he's had a bunch of games where he started off 10 for 10. And everybody's like, oh man, this guy's he's about to do it again. And he doesn't do it. So yeah, Jared Goff, you're right. Like, and again, when I'm breaking down the plays on the pregame, it's called the 3-minute drill, Ron's 3-minute drill. And the biggest part of it, I love Ben Lieber and Pete Bursage's input in this because they always give me the defensive side. the biggest key for Brian Flores, and when you watch Jared Goff come to the line of scrimmage, he figures out what's going on pretty quick. Like, he can understand if you're in a balloon or blanket coverage. He can understand if you're in an umbrella. He can understand if you're in man, because he'll change the play. One of the plays, you could see there was something else called. He signals over to Amon-Ra, and then he looks over at the offensive line, changes it quick. All he's doing was counting. They had 2 guys for 3 potential receivers, which is stupid, but of course it's the Chicago Bears. And so he was just like, wait, y'all can guard us 2 on 3? All right, hey, I'm gonna throw it to you. You 2 block those 2, and now he's by himself. And he scores a touchdown. Like, the Bears are just, I don't understand what they were thinking. It's like 3rd and 9. You have to know who you're going against. He's not thinking stop him at the, if you stop him at the 1 or the 2, he's still gonna go for it. He's not kicking a field goal. And so the Bears just played like a goal line, put your heels on the goal line type of defense, thinking like, oh, we just got to stop them. And then they ran a screen on them, got the offensive line out there like elephants and Mufasa, if you guys haven't seen a great movie, and just cleared the way for Amon-Ra St. Brown. And so that's why it's going to be for Brian Flores. You have to make him think, okay, I'm manned up, or I'm this, or you don't have the numbers here. If you do have the numbers here, I have a counter the minute you think you can get it out to your guys quick. Like, and then like even the offensive linemen, like Blake Cashman and Ivan Pace, are going to have to cover a potential offensive lineman that's eligible, because those guys don't just come in to block. They come in to do something. They come in to confuse you, or they come in to be a pass receiver. And so you have to watch everything they do. And again, it comes out of confusion for Jared Goff. Like, if Brian Flores, I'm going to be eating popcorn and staring at this every 3rd down and red zone play. If Brian Flores can make Jared Goff do something with his hands, which means he's changing the play, he might have an advantage.
Coming up next, 5 playoff matchup would you rathers that I'll run by the guys on our special edition of the Minnesota Football Party. We're brought to you today by FanDuel Sportsbook. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but not too late to get in the regular season action at America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel. Right now, new customers have the chance to take advantage of this excellent offer. If your first $5 bet wins, you get $250 in bonus bets, and that's a nice nest egg to have for the NFL playoffs coming up. You also have NBA, NHL, college football semifinals, and college basketball coming up. There's so many ways to win at FanDuel. First touchdown scorer, rushing props, scoring props. You got some unique parlays they put together for you, or you can put together your own with the same game parlay. It's all at FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook app, FanDuel.com. Again, visit FanDuel.com to join for your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, welcome back. Special edition Minnesota Football Party. I've got 5 playoff matchup would you rathers for you gentlemen, and we'll start right here. Quick answers. Give me a little bit of your rationale. If the Vikings are the 1, they could play either the, oh, you know what? I already messed up this scenario a little bit, but let's roll with it. So the Packers or the Commanders could be the 7 or the 6. Let's say that one of those teams pulls the upset in the wild card round. Would you rather host the Packers or the Commanders in the divisional round, Reggie?
I want the Commanders. And I only say that because they're just not used to winning yet. And it's hard to beat a team 3 times, which is what they would have to do against the Packers. And, Brian Flores has a lot of respect for LaFleur. After the game, when they shook hands, he's like, man, you're the best. LaFleur's like, yeah, thanks. Yeah, whatever. You guys just beat us. I'm out of here. And so I just think, you got a rookie quarterback. And look, I love Jayden Daniels. I think he's an exciting player. I think he's going to be a great player in the league for years to come if he could just stop taking these big old hits that he takes and learn to protect himself a little bit more. But I think that because he's a rookie and because he's probably not seen anything exotic like Brian Flores' defense, I think they could find a way to have some success against the Commanders, who are just trying to get used to winning. They aren't there yet. As opposed to the Packers, which we've seen them just get on heaters in the playoffs, even last year. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to play the Packers.
Ron? Muted.
Give me the Packers. I'll take the Packers because the way they're playing lately, like I just don't feel like they can beat the Vikings at home. Also because then that means the Eagles are out, and then that eliminates you having to ever, even if Philly travels to Minnesota to go to the Super Bowl. I don't want Philly. Like I don't want to see that run game. You got arrested, pissed off Saquon that he's not going to break Eric Dickerson's record. Like, yeah, give me the Packers. And I'm scared of Jaden Daniels' quarterback run ability because it seems like he's willing to run to win games.
It is weird how nervous we are, and I am, about facing the Packers when the Vikings have handled them 2 times, and it's gotten dicey late, but they've handled them for 6 out of the 8 quarters of their 2 matchups, and yet it still feels like it's like the Packers are due, even though it's clear the Vikings know how to match up against them.
Romeo Doubs doesn't want to be there. Like,
yeah, I lean Commanders like Reggie because I think a rookie quarterback is just vulnerable coming into US Bank Stadium, but I don't think the Packers are maybe as scary as we think. Next scenario, if you're the 5 in the wild card round, there are 3 possibilities. The least likely is the Falcons, but it could happen. More likely would be the Bucks or Rams. Out of those 3, we'll start with Ron this time. Falcons, Bucks, Rams.
Give me the Falcons. Come on now. Easy. Give me Michael Penix, young rookie quarterback, or give me Kirk Cousins. Like if you want to send Kirk Cousins, like it's funny that Jamie Foxx and Dennis Quaid wore the same exact color uniforms as the Falcons with Willie Beeman and Cap Rooney. And that's what Michael Penix, and if you guys know the movie, Cap Rooney does get to come back in and try to win the playoffs for them, and Jamie has to sit the bench. So we could literally see a repeat of Any Given Sunday. And if that happens, then I truly know we're just in a sim. And there's somebody else is controlling us from high above or something. And we're in a bubble with Jim Carrey sitting there on the controls.
Truman Show. Reggie,
I'm in. Sam, you know the movie. Sam, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Sam. It only took 8 years, Sam. But
Great job, Sam. We're proud of you.
Woo. Reggie, I'm going to make it harder on you. I'm going to take Falcons off the board because I think that's maybe the easy choice here. Give me Bucks or Rams. In the first round.
Maybe Bucks, just because like it's so interesting. If you look at, I think I was just telling a friend of mine the other day, if you look at Sean McVay against his pupils, he tends to kind of just have his way with these guys. I don't know what it is about. He's just like, look, I taught you what you know. And he just earlier this season was a very strange game from the Vikings that the Rams were able to just beat them and keep it moving. The meme always is whenever the Rams beat the 49ers and then McVay just gives Shanahan like the little, yeah, good game, brother, on the head, like, get out of here, son. I'm not really a fan, and you think of the championship pedigree that the Rams have, like they just capture something with McVay and Stafford, like they have something special, especially when you talk about them being in the playoffs and all that stuff. Like, and this season has just been kind of interesting for them, kind of starting off slow and then getting the 10 wins. So I don't want the Rams. But honestly, too, the Bucks are scary as well. Baker Mayfield is kind of heating up, and Mike Evans and McMillan playing well and replacing Chris Godwin this year, and they got the 2-headed monster in the run game. Like, but I think maybe from a defensive standpoint, I feel like maybe you can do a little bit more against the Bucks than maybe the Rams. I don't know. Either matchup would be difficult, but I think maybe you steer clear of the Rams, and you just try against the Bucks.
Yeah, I lean Rams because of the way their offense is playing of late. It does, having Puka and Cooper and Stafford on the field scares me, but the recent point totals for the Rams, 20, 21, 12, 19, and 13. And everyone got thrown off the scent because they had that crazy game against Buffalo where they scored 44. And that's certainly their ceiling. That's the best their offense has been all year, without a doubt. But on the whole, it's been pretty lackluster of late. Something's broken there. I don't know what it is. Have to research.
That's what you think. That's what you think. And then McVay, and then McVay just all of a sudden those guys are, scoring 30 a game again. And you're just like, what happened here?
Yeah. Well, their defense has also been really good too, so I guess that's a concern. Ron, where do you sit on this?
So if I have to look at those two specifically,
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking, I feel like traveling to LA, I might rather do that than the Bucks, and just because the Bucks offense can run the ball, and they don't just run the ball, they use Bucky in the pass game as well, and so Bucky Irvin's having a really really good season. Whereas the Rams don't really have a running game, they don't really have a true running back. Matthew Stafford does not run. He doesn't have that second level play that he used to have, where he would move around in the pocket or get moving, and you'd be like, "Oh shoot, Matthew Stafford's about to kill you." He looks very old. He looks very pissed off at his wife for all her podcast stuff she's been doing. So I just Reggie, you know what she's been doing. Kelly Stafford needs to stop. She's gonna end up giving that man a heart attack. So he just looks tired. Like and Sam, you're right. Like their offense doesn't look good. Like they haven't looked good since they face mass Sam Darnold. Maybe that's the curse. You face mass Sam Darnold and you lose your life. Like I don't know. Like it just like one of those scary movies. You touch Sam Darnold's face mask and it's like the screen or the Ring or something. Like somebody's coming out of the TV at your house and say you're never gonna do it again. Or Thinner when the dude like start losing all that weight. Like it's just something about it. I don't know. They haven't looked good since then, even though they got their weapons back, and that's what everybody was nervous about. Like, oh, Cooper Kupp's coming back, Puka Nacua's coming back, and they still just don't look good. I don't know what's going on. So I would probably rather play them just because the Bucks seem to be hitting on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think the Bucks will handle the Saints for sure. And it comes down to whether the Rams, who are resting their guys, by the way, whether the Rams beat the Seahawks or not. Look ahead, NFC Championship game. Would you rather, Reggie, play the Lions or Eagles? And does it change your mind if you're hosting or visiting them?
Okay, pose the question again. Let me
so Lions and Eagles are your two choices.
Okay.
Who would you rather face in the NFC Championship game? And does it change depending on where the game is being played? If it's at US Bank Stadium or if you're going on the road?
All right. I'm kind of like Ron. Like I'm like afraid of the Eagles. Like their run game is nasty. Their offensive line is just like mowing dudes over. And maybe you're not as afraid of the pass game with them, but they can do a little bit more with Jalen. So yeah, maybe it's like the devil, maybe it'd be the Lions. But I was just talking about that yesterday in the sports office. Like, how cool would that be if it was Lions Vikings in the NFC Championship for a chance to go to the Super Bowl? Like, it would be like some historic stuff either way.
Yeah, the two arguably most cursed NFC teams playing for that opportunity. Ron.
Yeah, if it is one reason I want it to be the Lions kind of NFC North or an NFC Championship is because I think I'm going home. Like I'm going home. My mom lives 8 miles from the stadium. And so
I see what you did there.
I would be going home 8 miles. Yeah.
Another movie
from the stadium. So I would be going home for that, most likely, because I would just tell the Vikings, like, hey, I'm gonna go home. We could do the pregame. Let's do I'll be on the field with Pete and Ben, do the pregame show from Detroit. Antoine Randall, I can go see my boy. So I just kind of want it to be that. Also, I think either way, if they beat the Eagles or the Lions, I don't think there's gonna be any question marks. But I would not want it to. I mean, I hate to say it this way, and I know fans are like, what? I would take. I don't want it to be like a 6 or a 7 seed to get to the Super Bowl. Like I want them to beat the guys that you're supposed to beat. Like don't have the Packers do your dirty work and then you get to beat the Packers to go to the Super Bowl. Like go beat the Lions and go beat the Eagles, because that's the confidence you're going to need going to play the Chiefs or the Bills or the Ravens. Don't let me leave my Ravens out of that, people, because I know everybody keeps saying Chiefs or Bills. But yeah, I probably want the Lions. I don't know. I like the run game of the Eagles has the quarterback in play and the running backs, and they still have 3 good receivers. They still have a good tight end. It seems like they've gotten their stuff together, because they did comment like what needs to get better, our passing game. And then Jalen Hurts goes out there and sits down with all the chains on, looking like Rick Fox, and he got game, and he's like, "Is that what y'all wanted? Okay, let's move on. You know, so
all this tough guy stuff, man.
like he's
Calm down.
Nino Brown or something. So you know,
Yeah.
I just feel like their offense is prime for the playoffs. And again, they're resting their guys because they're like, look, our Super Bowl is what we want. We don't want records. We don't want this. Let's rest some of our key players. Sirianni's like, I've seen this story before. He gets the rushing record and he gets hurt or something, or a pulled hamstring or something. Because Saquon, let's not forget, dude has been a liability with health, and that's why the Giants thought they should get rid of him. This is one of his first full seasons, completely healthy, not on the list, not on anything. So I think that's the other key for this. The Eagles like, look, dude, you made it this far. Like, let's just we know you have less carries than Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson, by the way, people, if you don't know, 379 to Saquon's 345. So his average carry is almost 6. Eric's was 5.5. So he would have for sure gotten that record. But hey, we can move on.
For maximum emotional satisfaction, I think this would be the path. This would be the path that I would prefer. You conquer the Lions. This is your regular season Super Bowl. Take care of the Lions this week. Don't need to see them again. True. You handle the Packers and beat them for a third time in the divisional round. And then you bring in Philadelphia to get revenge for the 2017 loss. You get them in our building and you conquer Philadelphia to get.
Do we throw stuff at them when they show up or no? Are we gonna be nice?
We will toe the line on Minnesota nice versus Philly. I don't know what word to describe. Not nice. Throwing Philly snowballs at Santa Claus.
They're the Grinches. Yeah, Philly Grinch.
Yeah, we would reside somewhere in the middle.
Not gonna lie though, I think Philly fans still would hold their own in Minneapolis if it was a brawl. Like they don't care about jail. Whereas Minnesotans, I think, tend to do. Like Philly has learned, like they don't. I mean, dude stole the chair at US Bank Stadium during the Super Bowl. Like Philly fans just don't care. Like they just don't. Like how do you unscrew a whole stadium chair? But like you bought the tools to do it. Like that's premeditated psychonism. Like he was like, I'm gonna unscrew these chairs and I'm taking me some benches home. Like who thinks to do that? Like a Philadelphia fan.
They got a little too comfortable in that building. That's for sure. The Vikings got to make it uncomfortable again. When we come back, I'm going to ask this question. Who has the coaching edge on Sunday? And we make our final bold predictions coming up next. We are brought to you today by Rocket Money. Do you have too many subscriptions in your life? Are you paying more money than you realize? Rocket Money can help with that. They'll track down all the subscriptions. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances, and they can help you curb your spending habits entering the new year. Maybe you have a resolution where you want to improve your budgeting, you want to save toward a certain goal, and Rocket Money can help you meet those goals. They have over 5 million users, and they've saved $500 million in canceled subscriptions for those members, up to $740 a year with their app's premium features. I've got way too many streaming subscriptions, and Rocket Money has helped with that, helps cancel the services that you're not using. Maybe you're like double paying for some of them too. That's ridiculous. Rocket Money will help with that. Cancel those unwanted subscriptions. Reach your goals faster with Rocket Money. RocketMoney.com/lockedon today. RocketMoney.com/lockedon. RocketMoney.com/lockedon. All right, here's the question as we keep rolling on the Minnesota Football Party. Hey, please subscribe, by the way, to Locked On Sports Minnesota and catch the audio of this show on the Locked On Vikings audio feed. Reggie, who's got the coaching edge on Sunday? We've got Ben Johnson and Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell versus Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores. Who's got the edge?
Ooh. This is tough. And also, I just saw on Twitter, Mr. Stir the Pot, aggregate specialist, Dove Kleiman.
Dove.
Lions OC Ben Johnson smiled when asked about being let go by Vikings DC Brian Flores when he was the Dolphins head coach. Like, just drawing any type of little storylines. Like, nobody's even really been talking about that. Like, they played the Lions already this season. But now all of a sudden we want to talk about Ben Johnson being let go by Brian Flores, who is within his right to hire his own people when he comes in to, be a head coach for the first time, but whatever. I think it's going to be, this is tough. You know what? Just because of how it's been all season, got to go Kevin O'Connell, Brian Flores in this matchup because they've been pulling the right strings all season. I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about the Lions too, but I think they make smart decisions. Sometimes when Dan Campbell gets a little greedy like that, going for it on fourth downs and all that stuff, sometimes it doesn't work. And so we'll see on Sunday if that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I give Ben Johnson maybe not an immense edge, but I think he is just a huge asset for the Lions. They've been top 5 in points and yards each of the past 3 years, and they are 3-0 in the past 2 years against the Vikings with Ben Johnson. So I think that Ben Johnson gives them an element that is really difficult to usurp. But will Dan Campbell, Ron, get in the Lions' way? Will he be too tempted by the fourth down grenades? Will he step on them? Will they blow up in his face in this game? And adjacent to that, is Kevin O'Connell going to try to keep up with them in that regard? Or is Kevin O'Connell going to take the points when he has a chance? Is he going to punt the ball deep when he's at midfield? So is he going to play Campbell's game, or is he going to play his own thing and let Campbell self-destruct? That's the chess match that I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, situation is going to dictate it. So the score is going to dictate that. I think if Kevin O'Connell's behind, he's going to have to. Like Dan Campbell against the Bills was playing catch up. Against the 49ers, he was playing keep up. Like, so he's doing that stuff. And for Kevin O'Connell, it's going to be similar. Like he's going to, if he can get in front of Campbell early, like we know the Vikings first quarter offense has been really good, one of the best in the NFL. If he can continue on that pace, and Jared Goff started out fast, but they can find a way. Jared Goff hasn't done this to start off like maybe 0-5 or something, or 0-6, where they're like, look, we just have him super confused. Like, because here's the thing. My dad used to always say this: if you're going to get into a fight and lose, make sure the other guy knew he was in a fight. Like if you know, like if Brian Flores knows, like it's tough to stop Jared Goff because he's so smart. Like again, as I'm watching these plays, breaking them down, and I'm looking at my little play sheet of like plays, Jared Goff doesn't make mistakes. Like he's willing to hold the ball for an extra second or two. He's willing because he knows he has speedsters like Jameson Williams who's going to get behind the defense eventually, or he knows he has Laporta who's going to come across and find an open hole. Like he has guys, he has Amon-Ra St. Brown, like he has guys that know football. And so if I'm Brian Flores, I'm going after him and I'm just going to hit him. Like I'm going to he might complete it, but I want him to know he was in a game so that next throw, he's second guessing if he should throw it. And that's why those early downs are going to matter to get a hit on him. Same thing for Ben Johnson. It's like, how much am I going to let Dan Campbell dictate this where I feel like, hey, look, man, like this is not it. Like, let's not go for it here, because those two have to work together. Flores and Kevin O'Connell, and that's why I give them the edge. Flores and Kevin O'Connell are separate. Even though they're together, they're separate. Flores runs the defense. O'Connell runs the offense. Ben Johnson runs the offense, but Campbell is a part of that. Campbell is saying, hey, this is when we should go for it. This is when we're going to do a fake punt. So I could see not tension, but I could see like if it's not going well and that offense is not converting fourth downs, because this Vikings defense is really good, I could see second guessing starting to happen, or doubt, or like, man, like you're killing us, man. Remember the 49ers game? You killed us. So I got to give the edge. I also give the edge to Kevin O'Connell and Flores because nobody's expecting them to win. Like nobody, like everybody's putting all their money on the Lions. Like with all their injuries, everybody's and Anzalone, like I don't know if you saw his interview recently when they asked him about coming back, and he has the arm thing going. He hasn't practiced since like week 11. He's like, I got to do what's best for me and my family. I got to think about long term. Like, is this game worth it versus the Vikings, knowing we're in the playoffs anyway, and maybe I should give it some time to come back? Like, this is a brutal game. Guys are like losing limbs and stuff, and like, and even that, like, are they pushing him? Like, hey man, we really could use you if you can come back, like, or is he like, dude, whether we're the 1 seed or the 5 seed, we're the best team, we're still going to be in the NFC Championship. And I think that's the case. I think whoever gets the 1 or the 5, it doesn't matter. I think one of those two teams no matter where they end up, are still going to be in the NFC Championship.
Damn, real gladiator match. Guys will be losing limbs on Sunday. Their arms are just gonna be falling off.
Pets' heads falling off. You just don't know.
Hey, that's another movie reference. Dumb and Dumber. The biggest coaching decision for me in this game comes down to Brian Flores' blitzing decisions. And here's where I'm at with this. Look at what Goff did against the blitz in their first meeting. 15 of 16 for 165 and a touchdown against the blitz. What is the one game where he struggled the most this year? Houston. 5 picks. Houston didn't blitz. Houston blitzed 3 times all game, and they picked him off by playing coverage. And if there's going to be like a zig from the zag with Flores, I think that he could go way off his identity and just play coverage in this game. I think that's a legitimate possibility. Now, then it becomes incumbent on getting pressure with 4 because you still got to get Goff unsettled. But I think that there could be a diminished blitz rate in this game just to give him something different because Goff knows where to go against the blitz. I think it could be a coverage game, and it's going to maybe come down to how aggressive Brian Flores gets and how often he gets burned with those blitz looks. I'm not saying he's going to blitz only 3 times like Houston, but it's going to be a massive decision with how much he comes after Jared Goff. And he's been over 60% blitz the last 5 games. Does he dial that up or does he dial it back? Massive moments coming up Sunday night. I want a bold prediction on the game from each of you. Here's where we stand in our bold predictions on this bonus football show. Julia is gone today. She's been riding the Hawkinson TD bandwagon. She's been wrong every week. Reggie, you've been riding the Jefferson 2 TDs bandwagon, and you've hit it twice. Well done. You're 2-1 with the bold predictions. Where do you go this week?
Man, just ran it last night in the Sportscast. Jefferson, 182.5 receiving yards, averaging that in Detroit. Every time he goes to Detroit, Ron, he's like, "What up, though?" Like that. That's the thing. I'm gonna go. Justin Jefferson has a 200-yard receiving day on Sunday, just because like they just can't stop him. I think he might enjoy playing in Detroit more than he enjoys playing in Minnesota.
Ron,
I'm looking at my the 300-yard game. Did I say that against Seattle or did I say that against the Packers? Was that Seattle?
300-yard game. You said that was for Seattle. We didn't have a show last week, so
okay.
yeah. Otherwise, that would have been correct.
Dang it! That should be a carryover. So you know what? I'm riding it again. I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna up the ante. Sam Darnold, 325 plus passing yards against the Lions.
Wow.
I think that's gonna be necessary, Ron. So I could see it.
Just don't tell Stephen A. Smith if that happens. Stephen A. still thinks that Darnold is like on a major drought of 300-yard games.
Some bad television, man.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Stephen A. Smith. I mean, I love Stephen A. Smith. I think he does great at his job. You know, he can talk, but he doesn't know football. We know that. If you go way back to his interview like a couple years ago when he talked about the Chiefs, and he was like so-and-so and them boys. And then later, I think it was Teddy Bruschi or somebody was like, I don't think Stephen A. realizes that dude hasn't been on the Chiefs team in like a year. You know, it's just like he just says whatever he sees on Twitter. He's just going. He doesn't watch football like that.
Priest
like
Holmes and those boys out there, they're gonna be running the ball.
That man just shows up in leather sweatsuits and he just wants to be. I'm like, but more power to him. That man about to sign $100-something million deal or something. Like, hey, do your thing. But he don't know football. Like he don't know. He don't realize Sam Darnold is actually playing MVP level ball right now.
I've got the Vikings defense on multiple interceptions of Jared Goff. He's only done that twice this year.
Oh, that's huge, Sam.
Did it against Tampa when they lost, and then 5 against Houston. How did they win that game?
Insane.
Same way the Jags lost to the Vikings.
Yeah. Yeah. Bad offense by Houston. That's where I'm at for my bold prediction. In closing, there's a Gophers bowl game today. I want a final score prediction. In the Mayo, is PJ Fleck going to get doused with mayo? Row the boat. Ron Johnson, what's going to happen?
Minnesota, hats off to thee. True thy colors, true we shall ever be. For man strong, united are we. Rah, rah, rah for Sky Yuma. Rah, 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 rah for the U of M. Minnesota. Minnesota. Yay, Gophers. Rah. Yes, they are going to win. I'm going to say 27-17. But Virginia Tech's offense, I've been watching their film, and we're doing something for the pregame show today. They are nuts. Like, just when you watch their film today, their game today, it's going to be fun. Virginia Tech does a lot of stuff. They run double reverses. They run options with additional players, like the receivers and running backs can actually option the ball to the next guy. It's nuts, and it's so hard to figure out. So the Gophers defense is going to be like, they have to be, as PJ would say, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't let your eyes lie to you.
Reggie.
And I think that's the reason why I say Gophers 28-27.
Ooh. Dragan Kesic, maybe a game-winning kick there. I will go 26-19 Gophers. PJ Fleck doesn't lose bowl games. A lot of field goals in this one. Mayo on the coach's head.
He's trying to get away from the Mayo. I know he has a plan. I don't know what
he said. He has a plan. What is the plan?
He's probably going to run nonstop. We know he can run.
He'll just shove Heather in the firing line and just have Heather,
or have a PJ lookalike that we don't know. We know they had the Dan Campbell lookalike contest in Detroit, so maybe PJ hired a lookalike to come get doused with Mayo.
That's going to be entertainment. That's tonight. Check out the postcast after the Gophers game tonight and the Vikings game on Sunday. Thank you so much for watching, listening, commenting, and subscribing here at Locked On Sports Minnesota. Enjoy Vikings and Lions just over 48 hours away. Can't wait. Talk to you soon.